Welcome to the present. How you guys doing this beautiful Monday morning on the 30th of September? Yes, Arsenal welcome PSG to the Emirates Stadium tomorrow in the Champions League. That should be a good game. Before we proceed and continue this conversation regarding the preview for Arsenal welcoming PSG, please do me that kind favor, strike the like button. Very, very important. Subscribe if you're new here and make sure you turn on your notification bell. Yes, Arsenal will playing PSG. PSG are a decent team. They are not the same team of 2 years or 3 years ago where they had likes of late Neymar, they had likes of Mercy, and they had the superstars, and there's too much ego in the dressing room. Now, PSG are playing and are built more like a team than individual stars. So they are playing more like a team. They've played 6 games this season. They've won 5, drawn 1, no losses. They're looking decent, regardless of what you think about the French league. PSG are looking good, and the Champions League they've won their first game when it comes to Arsenal, we've played 6 games. We've actually drawn to 1-4 in the Premier League. And our first Champions League against Atlanta, we drew. So it's not that bad for both teams. It should be a good game. It should be a good game. Regarding the injury scare we had yesterday in the news regarding Calafiori, Calafiori has come out to allay the fears that both Calafiori and Ben White who missed out in the Premiership game against who did we play at the weekend? I'm not forgetting who played at the weekend. We played who? Leicester the weekend. We know Ben White was not even in the squad. So according to Mikel Arteta, both Calafiori, who had injury scare yesterday, that a lot of Arsenal fans almost went to a frenzy because of the potential injury to Calafiori. So both Calafiori and Ben White are in contention for tomorrow's game. So it shows you the quote and unquote injury to Calafiori is not that serious. And for Ben White, we know the injury is not that serious. So both are in contention for tomorrow's game. Moreno is not yet back, so it's too early for Moreno to get back into the team. Even for Odegaard, same thing. For Tomiyasu, the same thing. Even to Tomiyasu and Moreno in partial training, so he's not looking that horrible. Now, if you ask me, will I play Calafiori tomorrow against PSG? I will not play him, especially like I said. Even though he's in contention, I would like to rest him. We have Timber who can do a job as left back, and you bring in Ben White back as a right back. Now, I do not have all the information because Leta might just be playing tricks on us. So I don't know whether there is a significant injury to Calafiori or not, or because Leta has told us in contention. But I would rather not risk him against PSG, especially when you have quality players who can play on that side of the pitch for us. So, but because Mikata tried to play fair, he knows all the information. He sees these players one on one. So, why am I? I'm just speaking based on the limited information I have based on the player. So it should be a very good game. PSG are no slouches, so let's not take them for granted. They are no slouches. Yes, it's a game we should be winning, a game we can win, but this is football. Things can happen if you do not give your all. We saw against Leicester, we're a little bit complacent, like I said, a little bit complacent in the second half. They equalized and we actually managed to actually still win that game. So when it comes to PSG, a better team. When it comes to Europe, we don't have the greatest of form in Europe, and that explains why some people have their dodgy say regarding Arsenal. And on the flip side, we've not been in Europe for the last how many years. So that statistic regarding the fact that we don't do great in Europe is skewed based on the fact that we've not been in Europe for the last few years. So I will not go by those dodgy statistics because the sample size is a bit too small to make a rational judgment or appraisal of that. So Dembele, according to PSG News, we are hearing that Dembele will not be part of the PSG team based on disciplinary reasons. Rather, we don't know what has transpired between Enrique, their manager, and Dembele, so we're not part of PSG team. But regardless, PSG are a strong team. They have very, very good players. They've invested more in French players, better players, more team players than they did before. So Arsenal have their work cut out tomorrow. Even though the games we play at the Emirates, we have our work cut out tomorrow, especially when we don't have a creative spark of Odegaard in the midfield. Now, will you think Arteta will actually decide to actually start one area? I doubt it. I think he will go for the experience. He'll go with Trossard or Kai Havertz in the midfield. Will Jesus come as the striker tomorrow? Because Jesus played barely few minutes on Saturday. So I think Jesus should be fresh and ready to go against PSG. And we know his record in Europe for Gabriel Jesus is fantastic. So let's see what Arteta will come up with tomorrow. I suspect Kai Havertz will play in the midfield and Jesus will lead the attack tomorrow. Or maybe he might decide to stick Kai Havertz as the striker and Jesus might play on the wings or come in the middle. Let's see. Both can be interchangeable. Let's see what Arteta have up his sleeves tomorrow. Like of Saliba and Gabriel, those are defensive centre half pairing. There is no debate about that. Those are going to start. I expect Ben White to play as a right back, and I'm thinking Calafiori or Timber will play as a left back. Partey, even though some of you are actually, you have a decent. How will I put it? Now, I've been defending Partey so much, and I think there's a player there, but I think the legs are actually very, very leggy and heavy these days. Partey does not have the agility and the recovery pace he used to have. So we have to manage him carefully. That's why I expect Rice to actually play and be more sensible with all this. I'm not saying Rice shouldn't do his box to box. You have to understand when you play certain teams, you have to do your timing of your box to box because Partey unfortunately does not have those legs anymore. So you have to work together in tandem to make sure we are not left with gaps in the midfield. Because if you watch the Leicester game, there were times there were too much gaps in the midfield, and you cannot allow that against a PSG. Why a much better team than Leicester? So we can't afford that in this game. So we have to be very sensible. We know Trossard doesn't have the work rate of an Odegaard. So when you're playing certain players, you have to adjust the game to the strength of the players, of your teammates you are playing with. You're not playing with Odegaard who has the recovery pace, who works very hard defensively and still does his offensive duties. But when you're playing with Trossard, you know Trossard is clinical in terms of scoring. We know Trossard is better up the pitch. But when it comes to the midfield where he might do a job, his strength is not recovery pace, his strength is not tackling, and his strength is not marking. So we have to actually adjust the players around them so we can get the best out of each other. So I will still predict a 2-0 win. I think we can win. I think we have different ways of scoring. We are still great in set pieces. We are very, very, very good defensively. I know PSG will give us a bit of scare, but I think we have the quality to defend well against them and nick one or two at the other end. So I'm going for a 2-0 win against PSG. Let me know your prediction in the comment section. What is score line? And what do you think regarding the left back? Should it be Calafiori, even though he's in contention, or should it be Timber? Timber has shown that he's fit. And for me, uh, what's his name? Ben White missed out the last game. He should be fit. So I'd rather play Timber as a left back than risk Calafiori, especially if there might be something regarding the knee. So let's make a full rest. We played on Saturday, right? This player are just trying to adjust to the ferocity and the quickness and the sharpness of Premier League. So sometimes we have to space them and make them acclimatize accordingly. Meaning, when a player who has a history of some kind of dodgy injuries like Calafiori, we have to manage him very, very carefully, in my opinion. Now, if Galata wants to play Calafiori there and thinks he's good enough and he's fit enough, fine. But me, I will play Timber there instead of Calafiori. What will you guys do? Let me know in the comment section. So on your way out, do me that kind favor one more time. Like the video. Very, very important. If you're new here, please subscribe to the channel and make sure you turn on your notification bell. One more time, like the video, subscribe if you're new, and make sure you turn on your notification bell. Let me know what your score line in the comment section regarding Arsenal playing PSG tomorrow in Champions League, and let me know your predicted lineup in the comment section. And I will see you guys on the next one. Keep supporting Arsenal. Bye for now.